here today. Okay, 8.3 is the next stage in our kind of our explorations in compositing as a whole, which is a majority of what you use Photoshop for when you're not doing something like editing photography for really some pretty advanced tools. The other half of the Photoshop coin is typically combining at least these two different images together and taking advantage of some of its advanced things that we're going to cover, like manipulating the shadows with more believability than we did on the duck. We're going to get introduced to something called blend modes and layer styles, which are two ways that you can not only make your compositions look more realistic, but you can also create some cool stuff, like different glowing effects, different levels of like transparency. Yes, actually, I have a new bathroom pass. So I'll have you take that.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Yep. That is the whole bathroom pass. I'll see you shortly. Okay, so if you guys go to your thread, let me finish writing this down real quick. On your thread, you will see this is the assignment that we're going to be working on. One sec. Taking two announcements. All right. So the only thing we're going to start focusing on today is this advanced compositing project 8.3, which has a little bit of a different work week because of the SBA test and because this is something that's going to take a lot of parts and a lot of practice, as well as I want to combine Mr. Hendrick's style of teaching with the videos and my style of demonstration. But we're going to start with the videos just to kind of see where you guys get off the top. So the reason that the working schedule is a little bit different from this one is instead of being due this Friday, this one's actually due next Tuesday, the 21st. Because of I'm planning around the SBA testing and giving you guys enough time to actually work on these and do a good job because you have a chance to adjust some details. It's got a due date of the 21st of May and then the usual quarter end deadline of June 7th right here. And it's a project, so it's worth half your grade. If you're concerned about your grade, you definitely want to focus on the projects compared to the assignments, but the assignments make the projects a little bit easier. So when you're compositing something, that means when you're putting stuff together like we did with our duck horses, you want to use photos with high resolution. It's law number one, things that you do have to follow. Thank you. All right. All right. You want to choose images that are going to have similar perspective, lighting, and tone. So if we think about, good morning. If you think about back to the duck horse, even though that was challenging because you guys did not initially know what Photoshop tools had to offer without doing a little research or without following along with my steps, the duck and the horse had the head facing in the same direction, which made it a lot easier to blend those two creatures together because naturally it could look like it could occur. If the duck's head were the other way around or the horse was looking a different direction than the duck, it might create something that's a little bit scarier and a little bit less believable, right? So you want to use photos that are going to have similar perspective, lighting, and tone. Tone meaning like color, like the duck and the horse both had a white color to them, so they're going to be similar like tones as compared to tone of like speaking or the other definitions of tone or sound. And then lighting is the biggest one that makes your things believable. You want to look, if you're gathering inspiration, which will be important for a later project, you want to make sure that the lighting is going the same direction so that it makes it easier for you to do stuff. And then the last thing is you want to practice good selecting and masking. This is a new skill that you guys have picked up. So we're going to practice this plenty of times. You're going to be doing it anytime you Photoshop something. So, it's something you want to get good at now, do well now, so you don't have to or relearn it later. But these are your three main laws that are going to create the best possible compositions for your Photoshop future. Okay? So what I'm asking y'all to do for this project, it comes in 4 small parts, which is why the work cycle is a little bit extended, especially accounting for the SBA testing. So when Mr. Hendricks did this project, he had a 6-day work cycle, but we're doing, hi, good morning. We're doing a 5+1, which is a little bit weird because we've already completed the duck horse image. So this is day 0. Day 0 and day 1 are both today. Because we've already done the duck horse, you can skip this unless you want to do it the way Mr. Hendricks did and practice some tools like the clone stamp tool, practice some just kind of general compositing ideas. If you're looking for inspiration on how he does it, Yenna, put your phone away, please. We are live. Let me update attendance real quick. Thank you. The duck horse you can skip, which is we'll get to here in a second. But there's other ones like shadows, blend modes, and layer styles, which I want us to spend about a class period each working on. And then our SBA day and then our next block day is just putting the final touches on that. There'll be some more demos on my end so you can have your questions answered outside of the video sphere. But this is the plan that I have for our work cycle for this project. And this might not be making a ton of sense because you're not quite sure what you're doing yet. That is these video resources right here. We'll get to the compositing zip folder in just a second. This is the first one, the duck horse. This is day 0, day 1. I'll go back and label these day 0, day 1, so it's easiest to see here. But this is how Mr. Hendricks built the duck horse. Then the next one is the shadows. Next one is the blend modes, and the next one is the layer styles. So each one of these is going to have an associated file inside of this advanced compositing zip folder. If you think about 8.2 when we blended and unzipped things of that nature, we're going to download that to our OneDrive real quick. And then you cannot open or you cannot access anything inside of a zipped folder until you unzip it, just like you would in your backpack. So if we go to first period graphic design, I'm going to create a new folder for Proj 8.3. And then I'm just going to save the advanced compositing zip in there. It's going to think for a second. Once it finishes, I'll unzip it, and then you guys are good to get started. Basically, with this project, there are some key breakdowns of different compositing skills that I want you guys to practice from Mr. Hendricks's videos, and then I will show you other ways to do them in Zoom rooms or in other demonstrations in our class. So my compositing zip is taking some time to finish up, so we'll wait for that real quick. While I have you guys here, I have new bathroom passes. So while that's happening, hello, we are now on camera. I have new bathroom passes. You can see up here at my desk, as well as in the Zoom room video. You must take the entire clipboard. You must, because they keep disappearing, and a lot of people keep leaving class without my knowledge, without signing out, without taking any type of pass. And we can't have that anymore because people keep disappearing and it's not cool. So if you need to use the restroom and it's not an emergency, come grab a clipboard. I will sign it out for you. If it is an emergency, obviously, I will trust that it is. Hi, good morning. But please don't take advantage of that trust. So yeah, my zip is really thinking about it. So it's really chugging along. You'll unzip this the same way that we've unzipped previous folders. I'll just unzip a random one for now. Where is, let me think about where I had a zipped folder. Let's check 8.2. There we go. So back to Ducky Dune palm trees. You want to right click on that and then go extract all, or you can click the pink extract button right up here. Extract all, click extract. I'm going to replace them because they're the same. And then it'll reopen in a new window with all of your files accessible, ready to go. So you guys can follow these videos in any order. They're all about the same level of difficulty. I recommend starting in this order. So going shadows, blend modes, layer styles, but you can follow them in any order. And you can also do the duck, again, if you're really feeling like you need some extra practice. Make sense on what I'm asking here? Does anybody have any questions? Thoughts, comments, concerns? While I still have you, if you were absent yesterday, this is the last little thing I want to say before we wrap up. If you were absent yesterday, that's totally fine. I understand. There are 3 optional surveys here in the thread from Monday. that help me better understand how to deliver a more enjoyable class to you, as well as making sure that you guys are all getting the information that you need and the, just making sure that your learning is accessible. It's totally fine. There's also some info on, I'm curious what your thoughts are on tardiness, as well as appropriate teacher responses. This one is not anonymous, the reflection. The tardiness survey is completely anonymous. You can be brutally honest because I have no idea who's saying it. And then the needs from Blakeney is not anonymous because it's just helping me understand what else you guys need. So you guys have some new stuff to work on. This advanced compositing is the biggest of them, and it is due next Tuesday. We have one calendar week to finish this up until midnight. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it very much. I will let you get started, and I will be wandering around if you have any questions. Last thing I'll say before we close this off is my headphones in class work way better with your laptops, your school issued laptops, which you can put the video on and then Photoshop on your main PC so that you kind of have like a dual screen sort of situation happening. That's the way I recommend doing it, but you can also watch them on your phone with your own headphones, or if you have any other device that you prefer to use, that's totally fine with me. So thank you guys for listening. I'll let you get started. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Nunu, I will be right there. 1 second.